Hi, I'm Karen. Welcome to Matters of the Heart and Mind with Karen. So, I am a new channel and I will ask you to like and subscribe. Of course, it's free. So, I am a holistic health practitioner as well as a gerontologist. In case you don't already know, a gerontologist deals with the aging process, otherwise known as the saging process. So I plan to do videos related to reducing and managing the stress that often comes along with the experience of caregiving for a loved one or even not a loved one, which is what today's video will be. I'll also be putting out some videos about general stress management and prevention, as well as aging well, health and wellness, and a variety of other topics related to holistic lifestyles, conscious living, conscious aging. So today's video is intended to ease the way for any of you that may be having that caregiving experience. You found this video, so you must be immersed in that experience now. So in 2014, I did publish a book about caregiving, Care, Grieve, Grow, Caring for Your Aging Parents While Caring for Yourself is the title. There it is, available on Amazon. Although I'm not here to try to sell books, I thought about doing a second edition of that book because in the last 10 years, many of the resources for caregivers have changed for the better. And I would very much like to make people aware of what those resources are. So I thought rather than launching into the second edition of a book, I would supplement my book with videos like this one, as well as blogs on my website, KarenFazio.com, Karen with a K, Fazio, F as in Frank, A, Z as in zebra, IO.com. So you can find some resources there. It is a work in process. It will become more rigorous all the time with material and resources, but there are a few there already. Resources for managing stress as well as caregiver resources. So that's my intention here, is to expand on the information that is in the book. And I began writing that book a few years after my own parents passed away. And I had gone through, relatively speaking, a shorter time caregiving, but a life-changing, very intense experience caregiving. So writing the book was very cathartic for me. I do share my own stories, a little bit of a background in each chapter. So as I say, it was life-changing and very cathartic for me. But today, I wanted to come on and introduce myself. I'm a lecturer at a university, so I teach a variety of classes there related to different topics around aging in the graduate and undergraduate programs. And then I also teach a course on stress management and prevention. So this is my thing. And maybe you will find this useful. I certainly hope so. So the first thing I want to do is acknowledge um, the challenges that can often accompany the caregiving experience. It is a journey and it can be a very complex journey. And of course, a very unique journey because it depends where you're falling along that continuum. In other words, have you been caregiving for many, many years? Is this a new experience? If it is a new experience, You may be grieving. You may be grieving if it's been a long experience. So it can change your life. And even though um, it's an honor to care for someone, I know in my case, when I was caring for my mom and dad, there was nothing I would have um, rather been doing, meaning that there was a lot of meaning and purpose. And I knew my role was important, if not essential, in their lives. So it was never that I didn't want to be doing that. But let's face it, it can take a tremendous toll on a person, on the other relationships that you may have in your life, on your career. So there are so many different places we could go with this discussion. But I think for today, I wanted to, like I said, acknowledge that even though you may be wanting to do this, it doesn't mean it doesn't come without a cost. So perhaps your life has just recently been turned upside down and you are experiencing some what we call anticipatory grief, worrying about and preparing for the eventual passing of your loved one. Or perhaps this is a very chronic situation and you're not sure how long it will last. It's like even if you set out to run a marathon, and I happen to have run several, but I remember in my caregiving experience, I felt like and often said, it's like someone said, start running and just keep running. I don't know how far you're going to have to run. So you may be worried and about, like, as I said, your career. You may be taking care of young children or even adolescents involved in their lives. So a lot accompanies this journey, and it isn't often validated as um, for the enormity of what it can be. And as I said, if you're here watching this video, I imagine you must be having some type of challenge. So what do I suggest? Well, you're on the journey. So the first place to start is perhaps acceptance. There's no magic pill or magic solution to erase what you may be feeling. I would say allow yourself to feel what you are feeling, allow yourself to grieve, carve out that time in your schedule to journal, perhaps. That is very effective. I do realize that uh, caregiving can be quite time consuming, but I'll tell you right off the bat, I learned the hard way. You have to take care of yourself. And no matter what type of caregiving we're talking about, whether it's caring for a child, caring for an older adult, whether it's a parent, a grandparent, or even your spouse, um, you always hear you have to take care of yourself first. But it's usually an issue and it's usually a problem because if you're the one not getting, right, we feel like we can deal with ourselves, right? If you're not giving enough to another, perhaps you're worried about complaints, feeling guilty, that sort of thing. But to emerge from this experience, and eventually it will come to a close, if you don't take care of yourself, it will come at a great cost. So accept where you're at. There's a saying, what we resist persists. So accept where you're at and begin making a plan for how you're going to cope with it. So after accepting where things are, if you can approach this, perhaps you've heard of growth mindset. So if you can approach this experience with a growth mindset that you are going to mature from this experience, you're going to learn things about yourself from this experience, you're going to learn things about the care recipient from this experience. Often in families, issues that have been quieted or been laying dormant, perhaps for many, many years, can rear their ugly heads for healing. It is an opportunity for healing. But sometimes those things that we haven't talked about for years um, can come up, especially if you haven't had a lot of contact with siblings and now you're all getting together to deal with mom or dad or both, and certain personality traits and roles that we play in the family come up, um, and they present themselves and come to the surface. And as I said, if you're approaching it with that growth mindset, this can be a very sacred time of healing and emerging anew and emerging healthy. You may be tired, but it doesn't have to take a tremendous physical toll if you really, really do take care of yourself. So, one of the things I'll be doing is each time I come on, offering some holistic tools, some holistic modalities that I know I have certainly found helpful in my life. And I know that I had a holistic practice for many years, and I know that these tools were very effective for many of my clients. You have to find what works for you, but hopefully I can mention as many things as possible, and you'll find something valuable. So uh, I jotted down some notes. That's why I'm looking down here. So I thought what I would start with today may sound very, very simple, but it is powerful. So I was actually going to mention a couple things. I already did mention journaling, getting things out, because when we're ruminating and perseverating on the same thoughts over and over again, that is very, very draining and just perpetuates that cycle of stress. So if you are drawn to journaling at all, I say start writing and don't censor it. If you're worried about somebody reading it, find a private place to keep your journal so that you can be really, really honest and not worried about being judged or hurting someone's feelings or whatever it is for you. So take care of your journal as, treat it as that it's sacred because it is, but that is such a powerful release, and it will reveal to you um, exactly what you're feeling. Because sometimes when things are lurking under the surface, we know that we're irritated, we know that we are feeling angry, we may know that we're exhausted, right? Or we may just not feel good, we may not feel right. And by journaling, it helps to get us in touch with, put our finger on exactly what it is that we need to deal with. And it's a great way to understand and release. So until we can really understand what's happening for us, it can be difficult to let it go or to move on, move forward from it. So think of it like a barnacle, right, that you're chipping off. So again, I can't say enough about writing, about journaling. So that is one of my suggestions. And the other is breathing. So that's what I wanted to talk about today, and not just stopping to take A deep centering breath, which is also very effective. Just stopping whatever it is we're doing and allow that vitality to come into our lungs and calm our nervous system. Because this is why breathing is so important and so powerful, but also important and extremely powerful is while you're breathing, what is it that you're thinking and feeling? And if you can call to you, right, think of something not just positive, but something that really evokes in you a feeling of love, kindness, compassion, all the lovely words that carry a vibration of positivity. So, whatever that is in your life, maybe you have a pet that you love unconditionally. And of course, you know they love you unconditionally. And when you're out walking your dog or sitting with your cat or playing with your animal, time stops, right? You just feel good. Or maybe it's going out in nature, or maybe it's just a beautiful memory of a time when you felt safe and secure and loved. Maybe it's a beautiful color or an aroma. Maybe you want to bring into the room. Lavender, for example, works for many people. For other people, it's the scent of rose. So again, you have to figure out what it is for you, but to just slow down and breathe a little bit deeper and a little bit slower than normal. Uh, Usually it's recommended to the count of five. So inhaling, one, two, three, four, five. We'll do it in a moment. And exhaling at that same pace as you are focusing on your heart center, right? Coming home to your heart. I'll often say to my students, um, or suggest, invite that they be their own best friend, right? How would you talk to your very, very best dear friend if they were in a time of crisis or in a time of strife? Right? We're often much kinder to other people than we are to ourselves. So just really focusing in your heart center, you may even want to say hello and say your name. So, hello, Karen, like I'm here for you. And just still, because when we are stressed, challenged, or activated, our nervous systems, our chemistry, right, is goes into fight or flight. So when we're in fight or flight, right, pupils dilate, breathing changes, right? We may freeze, right? And people, this, of course, you know, the example is always used. We need fight or flight if we're running from a threat, right? It's innate, it's in us. And we need that, but we don't need to be stuck in that. And so many of us do become stuck in fight or flight. This is what, you know, I know for me, when I'm really stressed, my shoulders are up here with my earrings, and I carry a lot of stress there, right? On our shoulders. Um, might feel it in your stomach, but we carry it in our physiology. And breathing, all forms of breath work, help bring our nervous systems back to homeostasis. So we don't want the sympathetic nervous system activated, right? That's fight or flight. We want the parasympathetic nervous system activated where we're calm and stabilized. And this is how meditation, guided imagery, massage, aromatherapy, this is how these holistic tools work, is if in simple terms, is they calm our nervous system. So just for a couple of minutes, I'll guide you through a breathing and a visualization, and I'm just going to do it for a couple minutes. And I invite you to do it for at least 5, 10, with a luxury, maybe even 15 minutes a day or more. When you reap the rewards of doing it, you'll want to do it more. End your day with it, start your day with it, do it in the middle of the day. It doesn't take a lot of time to make a change. So just go ahead and close your eyes. Bring your attention to your heart center. Say hello to yourself. I'm here for you. And begin to breathe a little deeper and a little slower as you feel compassion, kindness, cooperation, beauty, grace, whatever it is for you. Think of a place in nature, your bond with an animal or a human, a time when you felt extremely loved, cared for, safe. And as you breathe, continue to feel that love and safety. If your mind wanders, that is completely normal. It's completely natural. Just let it float away and come back to your heart center and your positive feeling. And as you continue to breathe in this wonderful state of grace, imagine how it is that you would like to feel either throughout the rest of today, or if you're doing this in the evening, how would you like tomorrow to look? How do you want to feel as you move through your day? I imagine you want to be a calm, centered, clear thinking person. So imagine yourself in this state. See yourself going through your day. You may want to say, I intend for all of my thoughts, actions, interactions, as well as my words, to align with my highest virtues of love, beauty, and grace. I am a strong and worthy person. I am capable and I know how to take care of myself and offer others my very best. So, just for another moment, continue to focus in your heart center as you're breathing that ease and imagining and creating your day. exactly how you'd like it to be, knowing that you will have the strength and the wisdom and the peacefulness to respond to whatever may occur calmly and effectively, because you're building the resilience within. All right, so come back slowly and open your eyes and wiggle your fingers and toes and congratulate yourself for taking a step, perhaps. I don't want this video to be too long, but I'll also mention there is a wonderful resource out there called Bach Flower Essences, and I have been using them for 30 plus years. And there are many different brands of essences. I'm most familiar with Bach, B-A-C-H. So, and Bach flower essences have been around since the early 1900s or the teens, 20s, 1920s, and they were developed by a doctor, a very intuitive doctor that developed these flower essences for his patients. Dr. Edward Bach. These essences are still made in the same gardens in England today as they were in the 1920s and 30s and beyond. And there are several different essences, 30 some, 35 or 38 different essences that help with worry, melancholy, confidence, strength. Again, many, many different emotional imbalances that we deal with. I can't say enough about these. It's a couple of drops under the tongue. And if you've never used them before, I suggest you start with Rescue Remedy. They even make it for animals. You can get these online. You can get them at your health food store. Homeopathic remedy. Their claim is absolutely no side effects or contraindications with other medications. Um, and like I said, I've been using them and recommending them for many decades now, literally. And I can't say enough. And Rescue Remedy is for stress, general stress, anxiety. And this isn't anything that makes you feel weird or makes you feel tired. You just might notice, oh, I feel a little more stable today, or such and such happened, and I didn't overreact, or I just feel a little bit better, right? It may be subtle, but they absolutely do work, or at the very least are worth a try. And I've seen them work with some pretty skeptical people. So I want to check my notes just to make sure. Um, oh, I did want to mention that you may want to add some calming music to your breathing exercises, or even listening to music that you resonate with that comes from a happy time in your life, even if it's when you're in your car, when you're alone, or even if you're with others. But revisiting that music, playing that music, or if you do need to release some tears, playing something that will um, help you get to what it is that you're feeling. For me, it's the soundtrack from the movie The Mission. If you didn't see it or you don't know what I'm talking about, you can easily uh, do a little search for music from The Mission, the movie The Mission, the soundtrack. It's incredibly emotional for me. And whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I need to get at something, I put that on and it's automatic. It takes me there and I'm able to release it. And that's always very, very freeing. And ultimately, it can be um, very energizing. It will help you to build vitality because if you're holding a lot of emotions down, it takes an incredible amount of energy to hold those emotions down. And this breathing that we just did, you can do that anywhere, anytime. You can leave your eyes open and just bring forward something that emotionally, right? It's feeling it that really does change your chemistry. And just breathing a little bit slower and a little deeper and imagining, just like you're painting a blank canvas, right? How do you want that day to be? And how do you want to feel and be as you're interacting with the people in your life? So, if you are in need of resources in regard to caregiving, feel free to message me. You can do that through my website. Again, it's karenfazio.com. So you can go to my website and do a contact form. Let me know if you're not in California, or even if you are, let me know what county you're in, but what state you're in, what county, that sort of thing. And I'd be happy to point you in the right direction for support and resources depending on what you're dealing with. So let me know what you're dealing with and where you live. And if there's any way can help, I certainly will uh, do that. So I'm wishing you peace. And I'll ask you again, I would really like to grow this channel and be able to make more of these videos. And enhance the quality of these videos. So if you would like and subscribe, perhaps leave me a comment. That would be really great. So for now, take really good care and you do matter. So take care of yourself. Bye for now.